The thing that keeps you going is not the thing that keeps you going. I actually looked into it because I always thought that, children, that should obviously decrease your lifespan. Those of you who've had kids or know people who've had kids can see why. It is very stressful, which is not good for your lifespan. A lot of other things that you hurt having kids, babies, right? You injure your shoulders, your neck. Many people have carpal tunnel issues, blah, 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 right? I mean, it's just you spend a lot of time and effort. You basically wear down your body for the sake of your kids, and we know that. We want to do it, but if it shortens our lifespan, so be it. But I actually looked it up to see if there's any studies, and there have been some reviews in populations, and surprisingly, having kids doesn't actually decrease your lifespan. In fact, people who don't have kids often don't live as long. The thing that keeps you going is not the thing that keeps you going. See, there's a mechanical, the physical things that keep us human beings going, like our heart. But our heart is not the reason we're living. We don't live for the sake of our heart. We live for other reasons, right? I saw one of those videos on YouTube where it's a construction worker sitting down at a public piano and playing. It wasn't any old piece. It was a wonderful piece, the one that he made up himself. See, I learned piano for 8 years, but I learned to play what's written on a sheet by Bach, Chopin, Mozart, who have you. The difference is improv is another level, or it's another way of learning, I guess. He has talent, but it's hard to make a living playing piano. He makes a living doing construction, but is that his passion? We have kids, and it gives us a reason for living. It gives a lot of stress, but it gives a lot of pleasure and joy. I remember years ago, my mom, when somebody asked her, saying, "What's changed in your life now that you're taking care of your grandson?" And her response was, "I've been smiling more than I ever did in my life." And her grandson, my nephew, really is a happy kid. It's so nice being with him. My daughter is the same. I don't know if it's different with different kids, because my daughter smiles a lot. She laughs. But it brings so much joy to your life. And that outweighs all the issues of stress and the such. I think it makes sense why people with kids live longer. Life isn't so simple. Many people think it's a zero-sum game. You give to somebody, you lose out. We all know it doesn't work that way. Life is complicated. And the reason we live is very important. And to not have a reason to live really does shorten your life. There was this study that follows some people from IBM, one of the research centers that shut down. PhDs, very well educated. You think they have no issues retiring. IBM gave them great packages after they shut down the center. But many of them died. They didn't live too long, even though they're not old, because they don't have anything to work for. In America, it's often many times conflated the idea of job versus life purpose. Remember when I traveled a lot, people would always ask about jobs. And they said that's an American thing. You're traveling in Europe and other places in the world, they don't have to know what you do. It's perfectly fine. But in America, you gotta know, what do you do for a living? Which oftentimes people will interpret as, what do you live for? They live for their job. That's their purpose. That's their only significance in life. And that's sad. And simply not true. You are who you are. You are you. You exist outside of a job, even outside of your children or family. You may find purpose in this or that, but it's sad when that only defines you. The thing that keeps us going is not the thing that keeps us going.